Yes, my name is Sean Robertson, and I am an attorney here at the Robertson Law Group. I own the practice, and I'm the managing partner. And this topic is on Divorce 101. What is divorce? First of all, typically what happens in Illinois is somebody files what they call a petition for dissolution of marriage. This is the legal paperwork to begin the divorce process. And normally what happens next is the plaintiff's attorney, we're in that position, sometimes we're not. We could be in a position where you have to have that paperwork that you file with the county, you have to have that served by a sheriff's office. So basically what happens is the sheriff ends up coming to your house, serves you with the legal paperwork. It tells you that you have approximately 30 days to respond and file an answer in court and file an appearance. And so that's the beginning of divorce. And many parents, and particularly women, generally wonder, okay, so if I'm going to be the parent that's going to be taking care of the kid or kids, how do I get child support started? Or if I'm a father, how do I get visitation started as quickly as possible? Generally, at the beginning of filing of a divorce case, you file a petition for child support, temporary child support, and visitation. And this is basically a legal paperwork that says, I am so-and-so, I'm going through a divorce. We have one or two children, these are the ages, and we need temporary child support, or we need temporary maintenance, or we want temporary visitation. And generally it takes 4 to 7 months for it to go through the court process, depending on the county and depending on the court process. So that's why it's important to start this out quickly, because for a lot of people, if you are going through a divorce, waiting 4 months to get a paycheck is a very tough thing. So this is what we do. We help our clients with divorces. There's a lot of issues that come forward in divorces. Who are going to pay the liabilities? How are the assets or property going to be split? Is one party going to get maintenance? Maintenance is basically called alimony. And generally maintenance is involved when one party has stayed home and supported the household, and the other party has been out working to make money. And so the purpose of maintenance is to equalize both spouses so they can live as comfortable as they could have lived as if they were in the marriage. Yes, okay, we're back again. So we talked briefly about maintenance. So again, there's temporary maintenance. Temporary maintenance is designed to get you some income while you're still married. Where permanent maintenance, or maintenance in general, is designed to go forward after the marriage is dissolved. And there's different types of maintenance. There could be maintenance for a period of time, maybe 2 or 3 years. There's rehabilitation maintenance, where you need to go back to school, you need to get some training, or your spouse does, and it's designed to get them self-sufficient again. And there's permanent maintenance. Permanent maintenance is basically when you've had a long-range marriage and one party or both parties are older, and it's designed to not reward, but to put the spouse, in a position as close to what they could have been if they were still married. Obviously, both spouses' standard of living is going to go down. So, and again, the biggest issue is visitation. So generally what happens in court with visitation and custody issues, a lot of times things are agreed. There's standard visitation orders. Normally every other weekend, starting at Friday at 5 p.m. is pretty standard. And then Sunday at 5 or 8 p.m., that's all can be negotiated. There's generally sole custody. Sole custody is where one parent makes all the decisions without the information from the other parent. That's not very typical in Illinois. And there's joint custody. Joint custody is where both parents make the parenting decisions, make the healthcare decisions. They make all the major decisions by themselves or with one another. And so with the divorce process, what generally you need during the beginning of the process and during the ending is you need an attorney that's going to fight for you, number one, and listen to you. because unfortunately, divorce is kind of an adversarial process, not too adversarial. We believe in working as a team, but sometimes one spouse's interest completely differs from what the other spouse wants and likes. So you need somebody that can advocate for you. So at the end of a divorce process, you have what they call a marital settlement agreement. And this is a written agreement that is designed to basically say how everything's going to be handled. How are the taxes going to be handled? How are the liabilities going to be handled? How property going to be split? How's the real estate going to be split? These are the type of issues that are designed, that are dealt with in a marital settlement agreement. And it's really important to have an effective, clearly written marital settlement agreement, because a lot of times, if it's not written the right way, these issues end back in court even after the divorce is over, which is probably stunning to some people. And I'm sure some people are listening to this video that understand exactly what I'm saying, and you're faced with issues where you've got to enforce a marital settlement agreement or a court order. We can help you with that. The second thing is called a custody agreement or a parenting agreement, and this is generally the agreement that is drafted for the sake of the kids. This is how is visitation going to be handled, how is child support going to be handled, how is extracurricular activities such as books and fees, school supplies, school clothes, daycare. These are the type of issues that get addressed in what they call a custody agreement or a parenting agreement. So this is a little bit more about divorce. And obviously there's contested and there's uncontested. I mean, we love uncontested, but we also know that a lot of times there's contested divorces. Generally, divorce can take from as little as 6 months to a year to 2 years. What the process is. So the beginning of the process is one party gets served paperwork, and then generally the other party responds, and so that's generally the first 3 months of a case. And then from there, the attorneys try to negotiate with one another and see if we can have an amicable divorce, because part of this divorce process has to look at economics. I mean, neither party can probably afford to pay the attorneys. The attorneys are the ones, unfortunately, sometimes that get rich. And so what we try to do is we look at that, but sometimes the issues are too big, especially over your kids, where you've got to fight, because it's better to get a good deal or a better deal than to have a bad deal, because this is something you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. And for many of you, this is not something you can deal with if you don't litigate the issue. So here at the Robertson Law Group, we've got different attorneys that specialize in family law, and we can help you from a simple, non-complex divorces beginning at $900 to $1,500 plus court costs, to contested divorces or contested post-divorce litigation issues, which generally begin at $1,500 plus costs and higher depending on the complexity of the case. Again, my name is Sean Robertson. I would love the opportunity to meet with you, to sit down and talk with you. And if you have any questions, please give me a call personally. I would love to talk to you, and we'd love to give you great service.